I share my budget every month in either my monthly budget videos or even my monthly reset videos. But typically I'm just sharing screenshots, and I don't think I've ever taken you guys on a full tour of my budget planner. So let's do that now. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys what the budget planner looks like for August, because basically some elements carry over from month to month and they're just fluid, but others do not. So I'm just going to explain that to you now. So this is my finances page, and this is for August. This is inside of my life planner. A lot of people ask me about this, but I cannot share it because I purchased this and it's no longer available, and I cannot share it because I purchased it. I have tweaked it to meet my needs, and I've tweaked it a good bit, but I haven't tweaked it enough to say that it's mine by any means. So first up, we have my goals section over here, and I'm gonna zoom in some because apparently it's hard for some people to see the screen, which makes sense whenever I'm not zoomed in. So this is my goals section, and I don't just have my goals here or our goals here. I have our financial goals, tasks, and to-dos. So I update this every month. Every month I come in here and I update this list, and I include about 4 goals that are typically coming with us from month to month. They're just goals that we like to or strive to achieve each month. But the rest of the list mainly just includes monthly tasks and to-dos that are specific to that month. So the month that you're looking at is the month of August, which is the month that we are in at the filming and hopefully the releasing of this video. Investing 15% of our paychecks comes with us from month to month. Paying our monthly credit card bill comes with us from month to month. Those are like the 2 major ones that are recurring and that are actual goals. Basically, as long as we're investing a decent amount of our money and we are paying our credit card, that's the bare minimum that I could ever ask for in any given month. That's just me personally. Typically though, we do include some type of savings goal, which I'm going to add that on here. I don't have it on here specifically because it's listed as part of my budget, but I am going to list the amount that we are aiming to save for this month in August. It depends on what phase of life we're in. It might be a savings phase of life. It might be an investing phase of life where we're investing even more than our bare minimum amount. It might be a debt payoff phase of life. I'm kind of ebby and kind of flowy, and that's how I do life. I realize some people might be a little bit more rigid, but as for me and my household, we kind of just do whatever we feel will bring us the most sanity. And for the month of August, saving whatever money that we can save will bring us the most sanity as we are paying my husband's college tuition for August, and then he'll have another tuition payment coming up in December, / we just need to save money. That's just it, that's just all. So normally we have an investing goal on here, a savings goal, and then a goal to pay off our monthly credit card. Also on here, I have some tasks and to-dos that typically come with me from month to month. One of those is booking a laser hair removal appointment. I basically could stand to go get a touch-up, which is $19.90, but it's not at the top of my to-do list. And if you gave me $20 and told me to go get a laser hair removal appointment or to go book an appointment and get laser hair removal, I probably would decline. You know, I'd rather do something else with the $20. That's what it comes down to. So that's recurring. Scheduling the OBGYN is recurring, and it is on here because it costs hundreds of dollars, but I do have a window for which I need to schedule my next appointment, which freaks out some people, but I promise you it's fine. Like, I call that projecting, and I call that somewhat of a trauma response, but it's okay because per my doctors, I can go 2 to 5 years without getting a checkup as long as I have a normal reading. Random acts of kindness is what RAKs are, and I aim to do those every month. I don't care what comes at me, what life throws at me, I'm always going to try to be kind, and it could be something minimal. It could be me donating $1, $5, $100, $1,000, whatever I feel compelled to do. So that remains on here from month to month. Submitting my W-2s also has been on here a good while. That's because I'm waiting to get a copy of them, and I've been trying to get a copy. It's been quite difficult. This month, my dog has a birthday, and typically we buy her like a little cake or something from Amazon or some treats or something. So I intend to do that in August. I had on here prepping for a joint birthday party that's specific to August, finalizing birthday plans specific to August, finalizing my husband's birthday plans specific to August, buying home goods specific to August, although it is kind of recurring because I could and should buy them all in August, but you know, it could roll over to September. And if they roll over from month to month, it's not that big of a deal. I am without an Apple Watch and have been for going on 2 months. I'm surviving. I have it on here as a potential, meaning if we come up on some extra funds, I will purchase a new Apple Watch, but otherwise it's not at the top of my to-do list, so this might be recurring until I get a new one. Paying the retreat remaining balance is specific to August. Paying my eye doctor copay is specific to August. Potentially pre-ordering 2K26 is specific to August, but could be a September thing. Purchasing the Falcons tickets, transferring from our joint brokerage account, paying fall tuition, all specific to August. And then paying medical bills that's specific to August as well. Like I mentioned, each month, some of the goals, the overarching goals, specifically those 3 at the top, tend to stay the same, but the rest of them are pretty fluid and are updated each month. The next section is for events and happenings for that specific month. And obviously these change from month to month. The one thing to notate is that this section is only for the events and happenings that require us to spend money. So I don't have to go over all of the events and happenings that are listed here, but they are all specific to August. Next up, we have the monthly budget section. This also changes from month to month. I get a lot of questions about the numbers that are next to the items that are listed in the category column, and those are the due dates for all of the bills. So I update those manually from month to month. Let's say my electricity is somehow due on the 9th, I would just update it like such. So very quick process. So we have the bill or the expense, and then we have the due date if it has a due date, and then we have the monthly budgeted amount. I also update the monthly budgeted amount each and every month. I also update the monthly budgeted amount from month to month, which I really only have to update electricity because it fluctuates, because I see no significance in doing budget billing, though some people swear by it. Our water and sewer tend to fluctuate, though not a whole lot. Whereas in the winter, our electricity bill can be $80, and in the summer it can be $415. That's not the same or not the case for water/sewer. It normally just fluctuates a few cents from month to month. In fact, the last several months has been the exact same amount, which I assume is like the base payment for water and sewer each month. It only really fluctuates if we're using, you know, way more water, that type of thing. Of course, shopping and saving will fluctuate, and sometimes we're not saving, so it might be investing instead of saving, or debt payoff instead of saving. So that's always fluctuating. Definitely depends on the month. When I track all of our expenses, which I'll show you in a minute, this expenses this month column does update. So as an example, I've already tracked our gym bill. We've already paid it. And so therefore the expenses this month section is already updated for the gym bill and some of the others. The progress column does let me know if I'm on budget or under budget, or basically those are the two, either on budget or under budget. If the budget is exact, then it'll be on budget like the gym, but otherwise it will say under budget, and of course it will say over budget too if we're over budget, but we wouldn't be over budget this soon into the month because life has not been lifing for us in August. August minus the tuition payment that we just paid, and we didn't even technically pay it. We just wrote the check, and then of course it'll be auto deducted or deducted this week, I'm assuming. But outside of that, August has been kind to us. And then for the bills, there is a paid column. I normally don't waste my time coming in here selecting the bills that have been paid because I don't need to do that, but I can if I wanted to. And then I have a note section, and occasionally I'll put some note, like if I know that the water bill is going to be higher one month, maybe in September. If it's increasing, as an example, I will make a note of that there. Or one thing that'll happen is every April I get a notification in the mail regarding what our new mortgage payment will be. Make no mistake, our actual mortgage payment does not fluctuate. It is the escrow. So it's the property taxes and the insurance and all of that that does fluctuate from year to year. So that's where that comes in. But normally in April, they will let us know of the new total mortgage payment, which I will make a note of typically to remind myself that that's happening in May. That happens every year. So we are past that time now, but next year I'll likely come in and make a note of that. And that is all for the monthly budget section. I can expand it and blow it up so that it looks like such, but I rarely need to do that because that's doing a lot. Also, I have the sum of our monthly budget here, so it calculates that for me and it'll calculate our expenses for the month. So I love that feature. I do have a savings section here. This came with this planner, but I never use it. I have deleted a lot of unnecessary sections. I left that in the event that I ever wanted to use it specifically for sinking funds, but as we all know, we suck at sinking funds. It doesn't feel like we are doing any better with our savings for future expenses when we have specific sinking funds rather than just saving whatever we can from month to month. So I don't really use the savings section, but that's what that's for. Next up, we have an exciting section, which is the bills tracker section. I love this section. It has all of our monthly bills and all of our quarterly, semi-annual, and annual bills as well. So I have all of the bills here. I have the amounts of the bills. Lots of them don't really change from month to month, I feel like. So I don't really update this every single time there is an update. Again, it's really just the electricity and the water that tend to fluctuate. And then I have other bills listed out here too. And I just love this section, particularly for the yearly bills, the semi-annual bills, and the quarterly bills. So as we pay those, we update them. I don't keep up with this as I should, but it's good enough. I just love it because it has the name of the bill, the amount, if it is active. Sometimes I'll put a subscription on here that we have for free, and then I'll have it as active. And of course, at the end of our free trial, we have to decide if we're going to keep it active or if we're going to deactivate it. So that's why this column comes in handy. The payment frequency, or when the payment is due, the category, which these are categories I have come up with, the monthly amounts, the quarterly amounts, the semi-annual amounts, and the yearly amounts. I also have on here when the bills started, which I normally just put them all starting at the top of the new year when I come in here to update this at the beginning of the year. Again, I do try to keep up with it, but mainly I try to update it with actual figures at the beginning of the year, because then I can see how much money we are planning to spend each month, each quarter, on a semi-annual basis and on a yearly basis, because it calculates the sum here for each month, which is kind of accurate, kind of not accurate because of the semi-annual bills and the quarterly bills. Like, we don't pay Progressive every month, of course. We pay Progressive every 6 months, but I actually don't know how to update it on the back end to reflect the actual amount we're spending semi-annually and quarterly. So I don't even spend my time bothering with it, but the numbers aren't completely accurate. However, at the beginning of the year, they are a little bit more accurate, but it does calculate that amount, and I can get it to calculate the quarterly amount as well if I want to, the semi-annual amount, and it does already calculate the yearly amount. Again, this isn't totally accurate, but like on average, I can see about how much we're spending each year on all of our bills, which is like $42,000 apparently. I also have some stuff on here that needs to be deleted. Like, as an example, my husband's student loans are not due because he's in grad school, so we are paying cash for his graduate degree. Then we'll go back and finish paying off his student loans. So that needs to be updated. Mine needs to be updated. Some of these need to be updated, but at the beginning of the year, like I said, this is a little bit more accurate. I update this as best as I can, and then I try to make notes as best as I can. Next, we have the income section, and what I will do is I will track all of our paychecks that we get from work, which is typically 4, and I will track other income sources as well. Like this month in August, I got a payout from PayPal from the Center for Financial Social Work, and I just logged or tracked that amount. This is pretty self-explanatory. There's not a lot to it. I'd say the only thing worth notating is that it does show the sum for each month. Next, we have the expenses tracker, and this is where I spend most of my time. Not gonna lie, I come in here and I track all of our expenses. It is a tedious task, but it has to be done because otherwise I don't want to know where we would be. One caveat though is when I duplicate this page from month to month, all of the bills and the expenses come from the previous month. So when I duplicated this to start working on it for August, all of the July expenses came over, and I don't delete all of them until I feel the need to delete them. As an example, let's say we went to McDonald's in July and we tracked that expense for July the 8th. I'm not going to delete that because we might go to McDonald's again in August, and then all I have to do is just simply update the date and then the amount, and it will technically already be tracked. So this isn't going to look pretty until the end of the month. I do the same thing for bills. It just saves me a lot of time so that all I have to do is update the date real quick like this. Takes me no time at all. And then I can update the amount also real quick. Takes me no time at all. So I did bring over all of the bills from June apparently, and I'm just updating them as they're paid in August. That is our current budget planner setup. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.